Hey, what's goody, Frye gang? Now, it has been a while since I uploaded the last cut and unused content video, but I haven't forgotten about it, and here we are. And actually, everything in this video is from a personal source, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna keep them anonymous because I can't really contact them right now, so I don't know if they want to be, public or anonymous. So I'm gonna just keep them anonymous. But before we start anything, we actually have a clip from Splatoon 3. So apparently this Splatoon stamper originally had a charge hold function, kind of like Nautilus or charges. And this was brought to my attention by Grey Pig on Twitter. He let me know, or they let me know about this clip, so here it is. Now, if you remember in one of my previous videos, I talked about how Gobi Arena, Manta Maria, and Snapper Canal all had like very early designs, I guess, beta designs. Now we also have another one here, but for a Humpback Pump Track. And this one is a lot more finished, but it has some differences. As you can see here, over on the right, there is a ramp here that isn't in the final game, and even up over that ledge, the ground over there is a lot more flat. So that little ramp right there on the right typically pops up more in the final version, but it's more flatter. As long as just that whole area over there is a lot more flatter. And that really seems to be about the major difference, is that the two ramps right there. The first one down on the lower level is just completely gone in the base game, and then the ramp right above it is a lot more parallel to the ground, I should say. It's not parallel, but it's more parallel than it is in the final game. I actually like this one a lot. Here, this one is an early teaser for Salmon Run, and there's quite a few differences. So starting up at the top left, we can see that the chum here were originally going to be purple with yellow clothes and hair, I guess, as opposed to the green with orange hair in the base game. So that's a big difference. I feel the orange and yellow fits a bit more, maybe because I'm just used to that, but the yellow and purple would have been interesting to see. And then just below that, we see the lobby for a Grisco, where here we can see the Inkling sitting in a chair, as in the base game we're just standing. So I actually would have liked the chair. That would have been a cool addition. Now here at the bottom we can see the size difference. I don't know if this is supposed to be a scale of like a size proportion, but the Inkling is really small here compared to the chum, which are massive. And here we can see again that purple and yellowish green variant here right next to the original. And then next to that seems like an even earlier version where the hair is actually a lot shorter. This looks more like little Buddy. I think this is actually supposed to be a small Frye. We can see it's very different from what we have in base game. And even the griller, this is a very early version of the griller with the chum just fully sticking out, as opposed to having a lid over it with just all the tails coming out in a circle. It looks like he's actually being cooked in a stew right here. So I mean, I can understand why they changed that one. And in here we have two versions of the steelhead. The first one right here looks kind of disgusting because there's nothing on its head. It's just this bare head, so it looks uncomfortable. And then this one over here just has a frying pan. So a lot of these bosses went over a lot of redesign before the game came out. One case where it hasn't so much is the stinger right here on the right. Only thing that's really different is all like the pots that it's sitting on. They're more uniform, I guess. But this entire image is just really interesting to look at, to see how early, how all of the early concepts for Salmon Run look, because I love Salmon Run. It's probably my favorite game mode right after Rainmaker, but seeing early Salmon Run stuff is always so great to see. The next few images we have look like they're some kind of setup or display for an exhibit of some kind. I'm not really too sure what exactly these are, but we have multiple images. Here we see a ton of stuff here, but the most notable is down here in the bottom right. We can see a rival Octoling hanging out with Inklings actually. Here she's got the orange hair, she's hanging out with all these Inklings. So that's pretty cool to see. And now that I look at it a bit more, this almost kind of looks like Agent 8. I know the hair isn't exactly the same, but at least the colors are very close. The reddish orange to the pink, it's very close. So I wonder if this was actually going to be an early design for Agent 8, as you know, this is still early in Splatoon 2 development. I'm fairly confident they already had the idea of Octo Expansion while they were creating Splatoon 2. So this actually might be an early version of Agent 8. And there's actually a lot more to this image than I realized. So up here in the top right, we actually have a cover of the Splatoon 2 cover, the actual like soundtrack of the game, which is so cleverly named Splatoon, T-U-N-E. And then right next to that we have the cover, like the home icon for the actual game with the two Inklings butting heads. Basically we can see it above there, and then the sketch right below it. And then below all that we have some sketches of Salmon Run bosses, and then there's a chum near the golden egg. So here they seem fairly similar to their final designs. It looks like they've finalized it all. And this is like right before the game is about to launch. And then we have another image here of that Octoling hanging out with the Inklings. So this looks even more like Agent 8 than it did before. Okay, there is a lot to talk about for this one. This one is interesting. So we're just gonna go from the top down. Over here in the all the way in the very left corner, we have Marie, her final design. So this is pretty accurate to the final game. And then we also have Callie next to her. And under that, actually a little bit more over to the right, we have Callie's design. And if you look back there, it's kind of blurry, but you can see Marie as well. So look, she has a very similar design to Callie. Maybe this was just a concept, or if Marie got captured instead, or maybe Marie wears this outfit. I don't know. I haven't beaten the Splatoon 2 story mode, all right, or 3, or I haven't even started 1 either, so I'm not too sure. And then next to her looks like another version of Callie over there, even more blurry. But under that seems to be some sheet music. Now I have no idea how to read music, so I don't know what song this is. I'm assuming it's Spicy Calamari Incantation, but the notes don't really match up as far as I'm knowledgeable about. So anyone who knows how to read music can tell me what this is. That would be very much appreciated. Now over here we get to Off the Hook, and here we actually see some storyboard art, I guess, of Pearl and Marina. Looks like they're eating out together. So this one's really cool. Seeing Marina wear green is kind of throwing me off a little bit, at least this dark green, since she has more of a turquoise color. But it is still nice to see Off the Hook, you know, doing stuff outside of music and just see what they do in their leisure time. All right, I would not mind like a manga or something of just like the everyday normal life of the idol bands, like the Squid Sisters, Off the Hook, Deep Cut, of just them going around doing normal stuff. That would be kind of cool to see. And then next to that we see a half image of just Pearl laying there. Looks like she's got part of her she's got her crown on. It looks like she's got a black shirt on. This could like be symbolizing the final fest. I really doubt it, but it would be cool. I'm already used to seeing her in black. So, and then moving down, we have this image. I was trying to figure out what the hell this was for the longest, but I don't know what's going on here. Obviously we see Marina laying down here and her hair is blue. She's got on this top hat and a cane, okay? And then we see Pearl over here with her Emperor doolies and her little crown on. But what is happening? Is Pearl like on top of Marina? I can't really tell what's going on. It's all just jumbled together right here with all this black and yellow. I can't really tell what this is. I think that yellow is Pearl's legs, and then that big yellow part at the top is her shoe. I don't really know what's happening in this image, so please let me know. And then next to that we have Pearl here with a chicken on her head, and looks like maybe Agent 3 is next to her, since you can see the yellow. All right, moving past a lot of the storyboard stuff, mainly because it's kind of hard to even see that because it's so faint. But this is my favorite part of the image. Here we have some very, very early art of Off the Hook. Way back when Pearl was supposed to be an Octoling. So Pearl originally was supposed to be an Octoling, and this you can kind of tell by the Japanese name for Off the Hook is Tentacles, or at least their early name in Japanese was Tentacles. So Pearl actually was supposed to be an Octoling, but for some reason they changed their minds later in development. And here we have some early models of them. This one over here on the left with Pearl's got that like hair sticking out in 4 directions. I like that. I like that design a lot. This design looks really nice. And then even the one next to that where she's got the red hood on, and then Marina, I'm not really sure what Marina's wearing, but Marina stayed relatively the same. It looks like this one over here on the right was a later version or an earlier version than the one here on the left. And it's kind of throwing me off because the one on the left, Marina has a design closer to her final design, while Pearl has a design closer to her final design on the right. So it's kind of swapped. Pearl has an early version while Marina has a late version on the left, and on the right Pearl has the early version, Marina has the late version. So that one's kind of throwing me off, but it's really cool to see how Pearl was going to be an Octoling along with Marina. And then this one down here, I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. Why does she look like that? Look at her. Why is Pearl so lanky? All right, she already gets roasted and made fun of enough because of how she looks. Just imagine if this is how she was going to be in the final game. All right, we'd never hear the end of it. Poor Pearl, all right? We need some justice for Pearl because they did her so dirty here. What is that? And then next to that, we have the final designs for Pearl and Marina. And it looks like there's some image that's overlaid on top of this one because Marina has some like faded out splatters on her face and some kind of design or something. And it looks like something sticking out of her head. I don't know what's going on with this and what this is overlaying. Again, like I said, I think this is some type of exhibit. So this could be like glass panels and there's something behind here that's reflecting on Marina, but I'm not really sure. But below that, we have some expressions from Pearl and Marina, and under there you can see we have some more art of the Salmonid or the Salmon Run bosses, the boss Salmonids. And then just to the right of those expressions, we see here we have some Inklings competing in a turf war. And it looks like this might actually be a Splatfest because there's 2 different themes on each side. I'm not really too sure what they are or what they say, but you can see below them there's 2 different symbols. So I'm assuming this is some type of Splatfest. So this image and the last one were actually right next to each other when the pictures were taken. So some of the pictures that were like cut off halfway in the last one are here. So I'm gonna try to connect those together to kind of make the full picture. But I did forget to mention one other set of pictures here with Pearl and Marina that we can see here. And there's another one where I was confused where it showed Pearl with some like yellow tentacles. The other half is just Marina but with orange hair, making it even more confusing. Alright, but besides that, I enjoyed this picture a lot because it's Octo Expansion and I love Octo Expansion. But here starting, the thing that caught my eye and just interested me the most is this picture right here. Alright, what is this weapon that he's holding? What is this weapon? At first I thought this was a squeezer, but that's not a squeezer. This doesn't look like a weapon we've had before. Alright, I'm not really too sure what it is. It looks kind of like a turkey baster, if I'm being real. This looks like a turkey baster. Is this like an order squeezer? Because you know we got like the order dualies and the order stamper and side order. This could be an order squeezer. That would be so dope. Obviously it's not, but I am confused. What is this weapon supposed to be? Is this an even like earlier version of the splatter shot? Were they going to like redesign all the weapons for Octo Expansion, but then realized that wouldn't make much sense? I'm really confused what that is, but it looks like a very cool weapon to use. Here over next to that on the right, we have an early drawing, I guess, of Agent 8 waking up in the deep sea metro right here before the train comes. And just below that, we actually see Agent 8 staring down a deep corridor that looks like a train track. So maybe we're going to be able to travel along the train tracks. Looks like it's in this glass tube that leads to some different area. So perhaps there are going to be multiple hub areas in Octo Expansion. I wish that was the case. Going to multiple hub areas, that would have been so cool. You like see the different environments for all of them. And here we have some art of Agent 8 herself. With this one on the left over here, it looks like she's holding Pearl's crown. Or at least it looks very similar to Pearl's crown, and I don't know what that Japanese under it says, but I'm sure it has something to do with Pearl. And then under that we have some early like storyboards of Octo Expansion here of like a manga. I don't think there is an Octo Expansion manga, right? But if there's not, I would like one so much. And then this one we see inside the train in the deep sea metro. It looks relatively the same, with Agent 8 having a more finalized design. But next to that, this one confused me. I don't know what's going on. There's a talking fish that doesn't look like a zap fish. It looks like just some normal fish that we haven't seen before. And then one of these looks like it could be Captain Cuttlefish, but I'm not really sure which one. Actually, the one over here on the very right, that kind of looks like Pearl. I think that's a crown right there. It looks a little too tall to be Pearl's crown, but it might be. And then this one in the middle, I swear feels like it's supposed to be Captain Cuttlefish, but I don't know. This fish looks like Marlin from Finding Nemo. I don't know what's going on in this image. It's just all over the place, and then they got spotlights on them. This one is so out of place. I don't know what any of that is supposed to be. So please drop some knowledge on that, because I don't know what that is. And then this one's actually really cool. The one below that. Here, this one is really cool. We see Captain Cuttlefish and then Agent 3 in Captain Cuttlefish's outfit, which is kind of confusing. And then next to them, that looks like that could be Agent 8, because it is an Aqualing. We can see the suction cups, but it looks like they have actual real hair on top of the tentacles, which that doesn't really make any sense either. The whole outfit, they look more human than they do cephalopod. All right, and then they're sitting in front of the deep sea metro train. But this one's also throwing me off. I don't know, Octo Expansion is weird, but we keep getting all this weird art for Octo Expansion that I can't even really explain, but it is really cool. But under that we have a little collage of all of the mem cakes here. They're all relatively the same. Obviously some of them have some design differences, but they're all relatively the same. Down here we have some more art of the deep sea metro, and even some art right here of Agent 3 and Agent 8. It's like a cute little children's doodle right here. So that one's adorable. And then here we have some early designs for a lot of the passengers in the deep sea metro. Most notably, Iso Padre right here. What is that design? Look to the right of him. What is that, bro? That's some like alien ass. That's creepy. That looks nasty. I'm so glad he doesn't look like that now. Like that's scary, bro. And then here we have some early designs of Sea Cucumber. He looks monstrous too. He looks nightmarish too. What were they on, bro? Why were they designing all of these characters so like freakishly? Sea Cucumber looks like he'll suck the soul out of your body, and then over here Iso Padre looks like he got the soul sucked out of his body. So I don't know what they were on when they were creating these characters, but I'm glad we have the ones that we have now. We got more Octo Expansion stuff, and starting all the way up in the top left corner, can someone please tell me what this is supposed to be? Is this like a character? Is that purple stuff the hair? I'm not really too sure what this is supposed to be. I can't make out what that is. So I need y'all help. And then next to that, we actually have this really cool, like very simplistic art of Off the Hook with Agent 8. This one's adorable. This is more of like the style of the mem cakes, at least with like Agent 8's head. This looks like it'd be a mem cake. So I think that's pretty cool. And then next to that, we have a little collection of art of the Octarians. And this one here is like the deep green with the blue transitioning in the red. I actually like that a lot. That looks very cool. But I doubt many people would like that design. And actually here we can see an early version of those shower things. I'm not really too sure what they're called, but it looks like it was a lot taller. And next to that, I just noticed this is like a mad scientist Octarian. This looks cool. Is that a syringe? Oh my god, this design is so dope. It would have been cool to see like scientist Octolings in game. They even got the mask on, the lab coat with the giant syringe. That would have been cool to see in game. And then here we just have a couple of drawings of some levels and the deep sea metro. This one's really cool, bro. We got Vaporwave Octo Expansion. All right, we got Octowave out here. And look, it looks like the moon or sun, whatever that is, right there, is even kind of in the shape of an octoling. So that's really cool. I never expected to see like Octowave in here. That's actually hella dope. Vaporling, Octowave, and then the mood is immediately ruined by the image next to that. This looks like Octarians are being grounded up. Is this the grinder? Because I know the grinder is like an actual blender, but this kind of reminds me of the spaceship from Earthbound. But is this what an early version of the blender was going to look like? Because look, maybe they're being sucked in from the bottom, and then inside you can see some kind of paste or something. That might be the primordial ooze. Maybe that is an early version of Commander Tartar and he was supposed to look like that. I'm not sure what's going on in this image, but I'm pretty sure this is supposed to show that the Octarians were being blended together. That one's kind of unsettling. Then we have an image here. This one looks really cool. We got DJ Hyperfresh and MC Princess. I like this one a lot. This looks like it could be an album cover. And speaking of album covers, right next to that, we have what was probably an album cover right here. Apparently, I'm assuming we're going to get an all... Wait, actually, no. At first, I thought this was going to be like an all Octoling band that are going to make the music for Octo Expansion before we got Deadfish, because it says Octopus up here. But we can see Off the Hook right there. That's Pearl, and in the back we have Marina. Is this Damn Socks? Wait, what if this was Damn Socks and they had the idea for that all the way back in Splatoon 2? Because in Splatoon 3, we got songs from Damn Socks featuring Off the Hook, and here they are. And Octo Expansion, assuming I think takes place after the final fest, right? Is that canonical? I don't know if that's canonical, but Pearl did say she wanted to break into new genres of music, so that would mean collabing with other artists and groups, I guess. So what if this is actually Damn Socks, or it could just be a band called Octopus? Maybe they renamed the Damn Socks. Is Damn Socks even relevant here? Am I just going on about nothing? That could be the case, I don't know. But here we have some really cool art of Octo Expansion. We see Agent 8 and Agent 3 here. This one, this art style seems familiar, but I can't really quite tell why. And under that, you have some more early art of Octo Expansion. With this one here, I think is Agent 8 fighting the NILS statue. This looks like the multi-barrage like cannon that it had before Commander Tartar fired it. It had like the green tubes. So I think that's what that is. And probably the best part of this entire image is right here at the bottom, right? It's just Agent 8 with her phone, a very, very simplistic doodle of Agent 8 with her Octo phone, I guess, or whatever she has. So I like this image a lot. I might save this and use it as like a wallpaper or something. I like that little image. It reminds me of Adventure Time a little bit. I'm not really too sure why. And before we get on to the part I'm most excited for, the videos and actual footage of the cut content and stuff, I actually have a little montage here of some environment and map files in the game. So it replaces the Octo Canyon stuff with stuff from the global testfire demo. So these files and everything were in the game way back in the global testfire. So I'm gonna have a little montage of those right here. Now we're going to get on to some unused and very early versions of some specials actually. And we actually have all the ones, or quite a bit of them, returning from Splatoon 1 that were actually considered but never used in the game. First, we're going to start off with the bomb rushes. And this first one's actually pretty interesting. Now this one's actually pretty interesting. First off, you can see off rip, we have the hero shot here that the Inklings are using. And not just any hero shot, this is the hero shot from Splatoon 1, which isn't even in Splatoon 2. So they were still using a lot of Splatoon 1 assets to test the stuff from Splatoon 2, which makes sense, because why not use the stuff you already have instead of creating brand new stuff? And it's just easier to test with the Splatoon 1 stuff. But the part that confused me is, what was even the point? Like, I know this didn't make it in game, thankfully, but a sprinkler launcher, that is just terrible, because you can't have more than one sprinkler out at a time anyway. So you're just throwing all those sprinklers for them to do absolutely nothing, just for you to only use one of them. Now, they could have changed this as to make the only the sprinkler launcher, make it to where you can have multiple sprinklers out at once. So if you were to use the sub, you can only have one out at once. But if you use the special sprinkler launcher, then you can have as many as you can throw out at once. And there's just sprinklers all over the whole map, but it only worked for a sprinkler launcher. They could have done that, but I don't know how broken that would be. That would be stupid for Splat Zones, especially for like Gobi Arena and Mako Mart, because you can just throw them up on like the stuff on the ceiling and they can just stay up there and you can't reach them, so they're just all over the damn zone. That would have been kind of cool, but you can kind of see why Sprinkler Bomb Rush didn't make it in. It's practically useless. I actually think this one is cool and kind of disappointed it didn't make it into the game. Now, yes, Toxic Mist isn't the greatest sub, but this would actually be insane as a bomb rush, because this would work for almost every game mode, not necessarily to slow down enemies, which it would do, but just to set as like a screen. All right, it's just like a big cloud of fog. You can't even really see through it. So you can use that to kind of trick your opponents to kind of like sneak in for like clam blitz. Well, maybe obviously they'd be able to see like the icon of the clam and the rainmaker, but for like tower control and splat zones, that'd be so dumb. You could just hide in the mist and just push objective, or you could just throw it like at their spawn point, so, or near their spawn point, so you can like basically cover their view of the map and they can't really see you. There's so many different things you could use it for. This would actually be a really cool special, because yes, it would slow them down since there's a whole lot and they're stuck in it, so they can't run away, so you can kill them easily, and it'd kind of be hard for you to see as well. But then you can just throw a point sensor or run thermal link or hunt or whatever. But also, it would just set as a big like wall, a screen, so they can't really see you and what you're doing. So that would be dangerously scary. Now, if you notice with all of these, the special icon is always just the Tenta missiles, so that's not really of anything to note. But you can tell this is an early version of the auto bomb launcher, because first of all, it has absolutely no sound for throwing it out or when it activates, because normally when it activates and it like sees an enemy, I guess, and it activates, it'll make a little sound. That never happened. And even the like detection radius, I guess, is massive on these. They are not that big in any of the games. All right, that's huge. And if you notice near the end, they actually hop instead of like waddle over towards the enemy. So this is a very early version of the auto bomb launcher, and it's actually kind of charming. And speaking of auto bombs, we can see it here. Yeah, this really was an early version of the auto bombs. All right, and what throws me off and just irks me is that the audio is not synced. All right, the sound of when it's like building up to explode and then explodes is so unsynced from the actual animation. It kind of throws me off a little bit. But you can see here how they kind of just like waddle or hop instead of like waddle over like they do in the base game. Couple interesting things about the baller here is that obviously it has no sound when it explodes or rolls around, but it also has like this hexagonal pattern on it, and it doesn't have the stripes either, but it's like a giant dome, not giant, but it's like a dome with all these hexagonal patterns on it. It's kind of trippy, but I like it. Okay, was Burst Bomb Launcher ever that fast in the main game? Oh my god, that was like, that was quick. I don't really have anything to say for this one. If I don't have anything to say, I'm gonna just play the next clip. I don't want to drag it on out and just talk after every clip if I don't need to, because y'all would rather see the content and not hear me talk. So, but yeah, I don't think Burst Bomb was that fast, or Burst Bomb Launcher. This one's just uncomfortable, bro. Why does it sound like that? And why does it look like that? Yeah, Bubble Blower looked nasty here. All right, and something I just noticed in this clip, I don't know if it's in the other ones, but the points in the top right, they just keep on going up even when they're not inking any turf. The points are just steadily rising. All right, I don't know if that's intentional, but it's just something I couldn't help but notice. So here's my baby just played Splatoon for the first time moment, but this is my first time actually ever seeing Echolocator. Alright, this is cool. This is like point sensor, but a special, which I'm pretty sure they changed this into point sensor and made it a sub. But when you use Echolocator, does it tag the whole party like, does it tag all the enemies for yourself, just for yourself, or for the rest of your teammates? Because I know, assuming it's for the rest of the teammates, just like how point sensor works. But a lot has been changed between 1 and 2, so I'm not really too sure how Echolocator works. I'm not too well versed on Splatoon 1 stuff since I just got it recently, so I still have to learn everything about that. Now this is probably the most interesting one out of all of them, is Kraken, alright? Now, it's assumed that Kraken was replaced with Baller since they both technically do the same thing. They allow you to like get in close to your enemies and like chase them down and just kill them and then back out without really being in too much danger, since you can't kill a Kraken and it takes quite a bit to destroy a Baller. But everything about this video is just so insane. Okay, first, of course, the damn ink brush has Kraken. Imagine if ink brush had Kraken in Splatoon 3. That would be very stupid and scary. And second, what is happening when they go into Kraken? Because it looks like they're running. First of all, they go invisible because they don't have a model for Kraken yet, but they still have the general parameters for it. When they're swimming, it looks like they're walking, but you can see that they're swimming right as they come up out of it. So, and then other times they'll like dip down under the map. So I'm not really too sure what that whole thing is about. Are they like charging? Are they jumping? I'm not really too sure what that's about. But it looks like the game at some point was going to encourage us to like look at the map, because when you see when they fall into the water and die, it says open the map with X. So maybe that's just a dev thing, but that also could be them encouraging us to, you know, check our map when we're dead to try to see where teammates are at, see where enemies are at, check the map, or just jump, because a lot of players, most players don't use their maps like at all a single time in a match. So, you know, they went through to created this whole like interactive map to show in everything in real time, and people don't really use it. So they kind of, you have that prompt there to encourage us to check the map, which, you know, y'all should be checking the map. Whenever you have any downtime in a match, doesn't matter the game mode, if you have any downtime or don't know what to do or just don't know where your teammates or enemies are at, look at the map, please. Just use the map. It's going to be so helpful. I know it's kind of tough to look in the map in such a high-paced game where you have to be aware and of your surroundings at all times, but when you do it, you'll start getting used to it. Just like checking the map every couple seconds, even just like breaking it up for a couple seconds, glance at it, bring it down, and go back to doing what you were doing. Make sure you use the map. It is going to help out a lot once you get good at looking at the map and using the information that the map can give you. It's just a button press away. It's very quick to bring it up and put it back down. So use your map, please. So this is also my first time seeing Seeker, and it's actually kind of insane. Now, yes, obviously this was reworked in the curling bomb, as it has the same charge function to where if you charge it, it goes less of a distance but has a bigger explosion radius, which you should also be charging your curling bombs. All right, I main curling bomb weapons in Splatoon 3. Luna Blaster Neo doesn't have curling bomb, but Heavy Edit and Paintbrush have curling bomb, and I never see anyone ever charge their curling bombs. All right, it is so helpful. I think a lot of people just forget that it even can be charged, but charging your curling bomb will help you out in so many situations. To just say if an enemy's closer to you, you can charge it to go that shorter distance. You don't always have to throw it at its max distance. Or just like fully charging it, throwing it over a ledge, that helps a lot too. Or use it to cover zone by fully charging it. And like, there's so many different utilities and applications for charged curling bombs that it's sad that no one really ever uses it. But that's enough of me ranting about using maps and curling bombs and stuff. But I just had to get that out there. This one's interesting, as the video is titled Umbrella Compact in parentheses Undercover. So apparently this was the Undercover umbrella, and it was supposed to launch its shield like the other umbrellas. But interestingly, why is it so fast? Why is the umbrella so fast? Like, the shield just zooms, and The damage on it is also very weird. So it looks like it doesn't deal damage unless it's very close. It looks like it's like distance based, because at first when we saw they shot it, it didn't really do damage, just pushed them out the way. But then when they were right on them and they had the shield out, it killed them. And then the one inkling right there in the middle, it killed them. So I think it was just based on the distance you were from the shield. I don't know, that was very confusing. Apparently this was an early model of the Tenta, which you can kind of see the difference already with the shield actually stays out a hell of a lot longer than the Undercover did. It still travels pretty fast, not as fast as the Undercover shield, but the umbrella shield stays out for a lot longer, and it looks like it has the same like wonky hitbox that the Undercover has as well, where it damages like point blank range, but from a distance it just pushes you out the way, whereas Tenta shield in the final games actually deal damage if you touch them when they're like moving along the ground. Next we actually get on to unused enemies, which is pretty interesting. Now mind you, there are a lot, and I mean a shit ton of unused enemies, but only very few of them have videos that are still available, so I'm going to be showing the ones where I could find a video for them. All the other ones I will cover at a later date if I can find videos to show them off. But to start off, we have an enemy called ENM Donketsu. It's an unused Octo Canyon enemy. It deals 30 damage and has high knockback, has infinite health but will take high knockback when hit. It lacks an entry and actor DB. This one is titled Enemy Ink Rail, an unused Octo Canyon enemy. It deals 100 damage. It's set to 70 health, but also has been set to disallow defeating it. It also lacks an entry in actor DB. This one you have probably seen before. This one is called Enemy Shin Octa. an unused Octo Expansion enemy. It uses a sanitized Octo Trooper model and shoots at the player using stingrays from its eyes, regular bullets, bubble shots, splat bombs, and can use splashdown. Its model is scaled up. Its model is scaled up by 10 on the X and Z axis and 11 on the Y axis. It has 8,000 health. This enemy is called Enemy Taco Gnocchi, an unused Octo Canyon enemy. It deals 50 damage and shoots bouncing shots, has 70 health and lacks an entry in Actor DB. This enemy is actually kind of special. It's called Taco Pod Dev, an unused Octo Canyon enemy. It deals 100 damage upon exploding and has 500 health. It lacks an entry in Actor DB, but it went on to be used in Splatoon 3 as the oversized Octopod enemy. This enemy is called Taco Tank, an unused Octo Canyon enemy. It deals 50 damage upon impact with its shield and has 140 health, along with 800 health on its shield. It lacks an entry in Actor DB. Now, a lot of these are unused animations. Now, the majority of them are actually just poses, so I'm not really going to go over those, although I will talk about a couple of my favorites. But to start, we have this. Here we have actually two animations of Marina, one over here on her left being her leftover pose from Octo Expansion trailer, and the one on the right being her leftover weight animation from the Octo Expansion trailer. Lastly, here are three of my favorite Pearl poses out of all of the ones here. These three are my favorite. My MC Princess right here. If you couldn't tell, Pearl has grown a lot on me over the last month or so. Alright, a little bit thanks to side order, but well, it's all thanks to side order. Before, I did used to clown on her like everyone else. I admit it, I was one of them, but now I love Pearl and she's up there. very high on the list for my favorite idols. All right, it goes Frye, then probably Pearl, Marina, Marie. You know, Pearl is top 3, okay? Marina, Frye, and Pearl are my top 3. But Frye is obviously number 1. But I like Pearl a lot, especially these poses, this outfit. But yeah, that's really it for this video. I don't know how long it is. I know y'all have been saying that y'all wanted longer, like hour-plus videos. And I have been wanting to make them. But when I do make these videos, I think, oh yeah, this is easily going to be like an hour and a half. And it's barely 40 minutes. So I do cut out a lot because I talk a lot. But hopefully this is long enough. I don't know. I tried to add extra stuff in here to make it longer. But yeah, next I'm going to be covering Splatoon 1, alright? For now, at least, I'm done for Splatoon 2. I've covered a lot of Splatoon 2 stuff. A lot of y'all have been waiting for the Splatoon 1 content. But I will get to that next, alright? Don't worry. But yeah, I had fun making this video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I'm back. I'm not dead, I know. I haven't uploaded in 3 days, but I've been working a lot and working on this. So hopefully it paid off. But yeah, that's really about it. I love y'all. Stay safe. See you next mission and play some goddamn Splatty.